In the year 1947, from a remote corner of the Indian Ocean, a distress signal was broadcast, an unknown signal, and one of the most terrifying messages ever recorded at sea. Its echoes were picked up not only in America and England, but also in India, China, and several international listening stations around the world. For a moment, the entire maritime community was stunned, because no one could understand what was happening. This wasn't an ordinary distress call. Captains sailing through the Indian Ocean, Atlantic, Pacific, and Southern Oceans froze when they heard it. For those who don't know, a distress signal is only sent when a ship is facing imminent death, and this one felt different. As ships and international monitoring stations triangulated the signal source, something horrifying became clear. The signal was coming from a vessel drifting near the Strait of Malacca. A rescue and investigation team was immediately dispatched. They had to know who was asking for help and why the message sounded so disturbing. But when help finally arrived, what the rescue crew witnessed was so horrific that some reportedly collapsed in fear and others fled in sheer panic. This is the story of the cargo ship SS Orang Medan and the mysterious distress signal that turned it into one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. Even today, people still search for answers. If you listen to this entire story, your breathing will tighten. Your mind will replay it again and again for days. Before we continue, let me tell you something. This is a story you can listen to with your eyes closed. Put on your headphones, lie back, because the cold is coming, and our narration will make your mind create every terrifying image on its own. Children are advised to continue only with parental permission. Now, I will say no more. In 1947, multiple Dutch, American, and British ships, along with international listening stations, picked up a strange Morse code transmission coming from the Indian Ocean. This is what the signal said. Captain and officers are dead. Bodies are scattered in the chart room and on the bridge. I believe the entire crew is dead. Just seconds later, another message was sent. 2 words. I die. And then, complete silence. Every ship at sea heard it. Among them was an American vessel named Silver Star, patrolling near the coast of Malaysia. Using assistance from other ships and listening stations, Silver Star traced the exact coordinates of the distress signal. Repeated attempts were made to contact the SS Orang Medan. No response. That's when the captain of the Silver Star realized something was terribly wrong. No other ship was willing to go near the location. So the captain made a decision himself. They would investigate. He informed nearby stations that Silver Star was proceeding as a search vessel. The engines were started. The ship changed course, and it sailed straight toward the SS Orang Medan. Now, brace yourself, because what happened next was beyond anything anyone could explain. After sailing for several hours, the captain of the Silver Star raised his binoculars. Far in the distance, a ship appeared. One look was enough. From years of experience, the captain immediately knew this vessel was dead. Its engines were no longer running. It was drifting helplessly, pushed only by ocean waves, and that was a terrible sign. A distress signal had already come from that location. Now a silent, powerless ship drifting in darkness? As the Silver Star moved closer, the scene grew more disturbing by the minute. There was no movement on deck. No figures on the bridge. No silhouettes near the steering wheel. Nothing. Normally, when a ship sends out a distress call, you expect survivors rushing to the deck, waving their arms, shouting for help. But in the case of the SS Orang Medan, there was nothing. Only silence. By now the sun had fully set. Darkness slowly swallowed the sea. Yet not a single light turned on aboard the Orang Medan. No lamps, no signals. Just one lonely ship floating in pitch-black water. A terrifying sight. Whispers spread among the crew of the Silver Star. Some even wondered, what if no one is alive? What if that signal wasn't sent by a human at all? Fear tightened its grip. As the Silver Star pulled alongside, they blasted their horn again and again. Morse code signals were sent repeatedly, hoping, praying for a response. Nothing. Only the sound of waves breaking against steel, making the silence even more unbearable. Finally, the captain broke the tension. Enough waiting, he said. We're boarding that ship. The crew hesitated. Their legs trembled. Every instinct told them not to go. But the captain shouted the order again. They had to find out what happened. Even before boarding, they all felt it. Whatever they were about to see was going to be very, very wrong. Too many red flags, too much silence. Still, Nothing could have prepared them for what waited on deck. The moment they stepped aboard, their eyes froze wide open. Bodies, dozens of them. Crew members lay scattered across the floor. Every single person aboard the SS Orang Medan was dead, including the captain. But something about the scene was deeply unnatural. Every body lay flat on its back. Their arms were raised toward the sky as if they were trying to shield themselves from something attacking from above. Their faces were locked in expressions of pure terror. It looked as if, in their final moments, they had experienced unimaginable fear and pain. Even the ship's dog was dead, its mouth wide open, teeth exposed as if snarling at the sky itself. Its tongue had been bitten through. The question echoed in every mind. What were they looking at? Because every victim had died the same way, eyes lifted upward, hands raised, as if defending themselves from an unseen force above them. The crew of the Silver Star stood frozen. Their legs shook uncontrollably. No one could look away. It was as if the scene had paralyzed them. They then moved toward the bridge. More bodies, same posture, same terror. And there, they found the radio operator, the man who had sent the distress signal. He was slumped forward over the telegraph machine. His finger still rested on the key. He had died while sending the message. Unlike the others, his eyes were closed, as if he didn't want to see whatever had taken everyone else's life. As if looking at it meant instant death. Some crew members then headed below toward the engine room. Normally inside a steel ship, that area is unbearably hot. The engine room should have been burning hot. But it wasn't. It was ice cold. So cold that it felt like someone had turned on a giant refrigerator inside the ship. Even down there, more bodies were found. Every single one in the exact same position, lying on their backs, arms raised upward, eyes wide open, mouths frozen mid-scream, as if they had taken their final breath in pure terror. But here's the disturbing part. There was no view of the sky in the engine room, so what were they looking at? And what invisible force were they trying to protect themselves from? When investigators examined the ship itself, they found something even more unsettling. The vessel was completely intact. No structural damage, no signs of struggle. No fire, no explosion. Yes, the engine had shut down, but everything else was perfectly fine. The same went for the bodies. Not a single external injury. No cuts, no bruises, not even a scratch. And yet, every body was decomposing at an unnatural speed. That shouldn't have been possible. The distress signal had been sent only hours earlier. So how were the bodies already breaking down, producing such a powerful, unbearable stench? It felt as if whatever caused their deaths didn't want to leave behind any evidence. At that moment, the captain of the Silver Star made a critical decision. He ordered his crew not to touch the bodies. No one knew whether a deadly gas, chemical contamination, or an unknown disease was involved. Instead, he decided the ship needed to be towed back for proper investigation, to hand everything over to experts who might finally explain how an entire crew could die at the same time, in the same position, without injuries. A tow line was attached. The signal was given, but something felt wrong. As the Silver Star began pulling SS Orang Medan, it felt unnaturally heavy, far heavier than a ship of that size should have been. The engines were pushed to full power, and then it happened. Smoke began pouring out from inside the Orang Medan. The crew panicked. The tow line was cut immediately. Everyone rushed back to their own ship. Seconds later, a massive explosion ripped through SS Orang Medan. The blast was so powerful that the ship was lifted several feet out of the water. A shock wave followed. Then, with a violent splash, the ship fell back into the ocean and disappeared beneath the waves forever. Just like that, all evidence was gone. No bodies, no answers. All that remained were the eyewitness accounts of the Silver Star's crew, men who had seen everything with their own eyes. When they reported the incident, reactions were divided. Some believed them. Others laughed it off, calling it nothing more than a ghost story. Skeptics argued that no official maritime registry listed a ship called SS Orang Medan, but believers pointed out something chilling. The ship may have been registered under a different name in a different country or deliberately erased from records. And those who believed the story asked one final question: if SS Orang Medan never existed, then what sent that distress signal? There is one solid reason why SS Orang Medan never appeared in official records. According to many investigators, it was an illegal ship. A ship allegedly transporting illegal cargo materials like nitroglycerin and potassium cyanide. If that was true, then erasing the ship from records would make complete sense. Authorities would never want evidence of such cargo to exist. According to this explanation, a leak from these chemicals caused the tragedy. And when the Silver Star attempted to tow the vessel, the sudden movement may have triggered the explosives, resulting in the massive blast that destroyed the ship. At first glance, this theory sounds logical, but once you look closer, it starts falling apart. If toxic chemicals had leaked, how did the crew of the Silver Star survive without any exposure? They boarded the ship. They walked through every section, yet none of them became sick. Not immediately, not later. And despite searching the entire vessel, they found no chemicals, no containers, and no explosive materials at all. Then there's another claim that SS Orang Medan never existed. But that argument doesn't hold up either. Because on that day, multiple international ships and listening stations, not just the Silver Star, reported receiving the exact same distress signal. The message was clear, specific, and terrifying. Even more disturbing, the U.S. Coast Guard later published a report about this incident in a credible maritime journal 5 years after it happened. And despite more than 70 years passing since 1947, this case has never been officially disproven. When people questioned intelligence agencies, including the CIA, the response was simple. They claimed they had no information about what really happened. So the question remains, what actually happened on that ghost ship? Was it an unknown natural phenomenon? A classified military experiment? A toxic gas never documented? Or something far more disturbing? A paranormal force? An unidentified object, what we now call a UFO? Or something that doesn't fit into our understanding of time itself? The truth is, no one knows. And blind belief and wild conspiracies won't give us answers. Logic, observation, and unanswered evidence are all we have. But before you dismiss this story completely, listen to this. In 2014, in the same region where SS Orang Medan vanished, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 disappeared from radar. 239 passengers. Gone, mid-air. No confirmed explanation. Same ocean, same silence, same unanswered questions. And just like SS Orang Medan, no one truly knows what happened. The mystery remains unsolved.